My name is ULRIK HELTOFT, and I'm a visual artist. I work with video and photography and installation. And I have worked with LIL in some of my videos prior to this. And that's, in a way, that's how we met, through this collaboration.
My name is LACY, and I have been working with ULRIK on writing the music, but also the progress of writing the music has been quite involved with the film and the two visual artists, ULRIK and Anne-Sophie. And so in this way, ULRIK and I wrote the music, but with a large influence of the connection and the energy of the movie. Since 2014, I've been working on investigating the respiratory process, respiration, through different performances and workshops. The subject of respiration has been an ongoing interest because respiration somehow is an area in the culture we live in that's not really or not existing. People are not aware of the possibilities within using breathing in any process of life, which makes it somehow even more interesting and relevant. So that's kind of like why respiration has been interesting, and for me still is interesting to explore. And then through the process of working with ULRIK HELTOFT, Anne-Sophie von Bülow and ULRIK, this creation has become a visual side to the respiratory process.
Which is something that we cannot see. So, and one of the things or aspects of filmmaking is that it's quite it's naturalistic. It's representation of something. So, what's the subject? What do we choose? And what's the vehicle? Who or what is telling us the story? So, we went to the place where it all begins, the source of the Nile. It's where the genetic pool starts. That's where we all come from. And we searched for something that would be that vehicle, and it became a woman, Leotissa, who is a potter. She makes pots with her hands, and the earth that's underneath her, and that's why she makes the pots right there. That's the geological explanation for that. That's where that earth with that specific quality is. So that's been going on for thousands of years. It might be the end of it, that process. But in her we found something that explains or shows a connection to something that's bigger than the self, something that's connected to, of course, history, but also the passing on, as life is passing on, and the breathing comes in. That's how we all connected through that air we cannot see. So the pot that she makes is, in a way, it's a metaphor for that empty space, that negative space, that inside, that outside. That's how it's connected through that opening. It connects the inside to the outside, and it's empty. So in order to fill in content, in order to explain what does it all mean, where does it all go, we need to sort of fill something into that empty space. So when we talk about something that's as abstract as air and breathing, we need to have something that's quite, at least that's our way of working, to have something that you could connect to, and in a way it's a guide, it's someone who shows us the way, and she has become, Leotissa, the potter, has become that person.
She has an amazing presence in her process of making the pot. We also have have worked a lot with the pace of slowness, and through the piece, it's a piece inspired by the symphonic form in 4 movements, and we've worked with an inhalation, an exhalation, a pause, an inhalation, and an exhalation. And through these movements, worked with the flexibility of breathing according to context, so that the pace of breathing can change according to what you're doing. And this is both inspired by her work and also inspired by research that's done many years in front or before. So somehow her work in the film, the visual side, has really spun into a lot of our prior work. The intention of the meeting of the music and the visual side in the first movement is one long inhalation, 12 minutes long inhalation that slowly builds up. That is how that piece and the development of that movement has become. It's one long during 12 minutes. And what the audience experienced through this movement is up for the audience itself. Some might find it extremely provoking, others extremely calming, and others might, I don't know, disappear in daydreaming, or some might even find it boring. But that's how it's been built up. And then we really work with the orchestra and the ensemble to keep an extreme presence. And somehow we hope that all of this will bring together something else, which is
an awareness.
Yes.
I think that's also why the subject it's quite hardcore. It's something that makes us aware of where we are right now, right here, and also how we are connected to everything else and where we come from. And I don't know how. It's not so much about how we got here, but it's more about how do you make people aware of both the internal, the inside, and the outside at the same time, and where do you position yourself in time and in what context? And I think that's our interest with the images, is to enhance that awareness. Something that could possibly make it more as a unity and less image and sound. That's, in a way, that's where we would love it to go to a place where you don't really know what came first. And often it's the image that came first, and the director says, well, could you make it more dramatic? Could you make it more fun? To enhance what the image doesn't tell us. And in this project, it's more the image guides the music, and the music guides the image and the viewer. The viewer needs maybe a little help going from this one place to another in this long stretch of time. That's the musical, the qualities of the music that could take us from one place to another, where the image is probably a more circular motion. She does this every day. She does it maybe more than once a day. And the music has a different pace. It follows her pace, but it has a different, it still leads us from one event to another. So the experiment, because this is an experiment for both of us, and it's also an experiment to show a film in a festival with all these other things going on, and so that whole setting is for me at least quite experimental, and I think it's the possibility to try this and see if it works, and also to develop further. This is a project that will probably change over time. It needs to adapt to each place that's been shown. We had a setting a week ago and it was quite different from this one, and we need to adapt the staging every time, and refine this also. But the quality in this collaboration is also to find a way of working with imaging music that is unfamiliar for us.
It's quite interesting to have a format that's both as concrete as a film, which is from this spot to this spot and you press play and you can't change anything, and then a format of 6 musicians that play live and you can actually move and bend everything, and each time we play it, it's never the same. So somehow it's 2 very different formats, but the striving to make those formats meet and make the magic happen every single time does the very interesting thing that the piece is never ever the same, even though it's somehow always the same that we play. And that's also why it's really interesting to keep on developing the piece for us, because we're searching for something that we don't know what is yet, and it's slowly showing itself to us while we performed it twice now, and we have 2 more performances this year, and hopefully a lot more coming, and to be able to have this collaboration as an ongoing piece and inspiration, where we're still, it's all the time that we meet together, and it's really been inspiring for me as a composer, that I have to think about areas that I don't know anything about. So I have to invent myself beyond what I know, and it's great because it takes away your ego and your great ideas, kill your darlings, everything. Just, you don't know where you're going, but you have to go with your intuition, your sense of aesthetics mixed with other people. And because it's an art form that's not my art form, it's not music, it's not sound, it's a lot easier for me to let go of my ego. And for 4 people to meet in a process where we all have to let go of our egos is, for the creative process, quite interesting.
La